Hey guys, Shaba Lion here. Welcome back to a very fun series. This is going to be the first video in a series discussing some of the things that I have just added to my collection. So these are things I do personally own. Just to get that out of the way first and foremost, I do own these scripts and all this original production material you will see in this series. Now, I have a video that's coming, you should see before this, explaining the series and what it will be consisting of. Um, and yeah, should be very fun. But you've already seen that video by this point, so yeah, we'll get started. So we're gonna get started now with this is the 10-496 script. Now we're gonna read about 10 pages of it today, do some analysis while reading. And then the videos, after this should be about maybe like 6 pages per week. So we should have weekly videos showing 6 pages. We'll see. But yeah, I know you guys are waiting, so without further ado, let's get into this. So here we are with the front of page of the 10-496 script version of The Lion King Simba's Pride. So Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. Apparently, this is the incest-free copy, and what that means, well, we can go into that once we get through the entire thing, and we can start to understand what that means. Now, Mr. Washer, if you don't know who that is, I would suggest, again, you watch the original video that I had before this, and we will, again, I go over what the significance of him is, and all these different designs and drawings, and why it's so good. But going into this, Lion King, Simba's Pride. Now, we have a note that was made on 10/11/96, so a few days after this, about a week after this, where it says, well, he makes little comments like you see, good writers, Flip Kobler and Cindy Marcus, who did the screenplay here. Wendell Washer himself is who's making all these other notes. So he notes, this is an emotion beat script. The scenes are in pace with abstract dialogue that conveys the desired emotion. This will all be changed in subsequent drafts, one of which I do have myself. Also, the character's development and plot will be fleshed out, and we will see how that works when I get to the second script after this. That was released a couple weeks later. But this right here is the incest-free 10/496 copy. Now let's move on. And Lion King Simba's Pride. I'm actually, again, if you in the comments, please correct me. I don't know everything about script writing. I am still studying in college and studying, film, not really script writing, but film, and trying to understand things. So, stuff like this, these numbers and stuff probably means different things, but I don't know. So, again, if you guys know, it could just also be production things that you guys don't know either. So yeah, there's going to probably be some things that people are probably going to be shouting at me about, but I might not notice it. But I'm going to just talk about the stuff I do notice in the script. So anyway, second page, again, just title page, and again, reinforcing this is the 10/496 script. And again, on. So, interesting here. This is page 1. The script, originally it did not start with a song. It actually started, it seems, at Rafiki's Tree. So let's get into it. Rafiki's Tree, night. That strange mystical timberwood silhouetted against a stormy night. As we creep in, it's probably creeping in the shot, we see it is more than it is. It is part shelter, it is part food, it is part home, yet it is one. Clouds circle skyward and lightning flares, connecting heaven, earth, and startling Rafiki as the eccentric baboon paints on his bark wall. He lifts his eyes to the sky and mutters, "Wow!" I shouldn't do voices. I'm not gonna do voices because I feel like if I do, I'm just gonna embarrass myself. But Rafiki, wow, trouble in the Pride Lands. He dips into a gourd, and lovingly adds a spritz of color to the primitive painting of Simba. Simba became Rafiki. Simba became king. That's good. Scar was gone. That's better. But Scar had a mate. That's bad. Thunder catches up to the lightning, adding an ominous, frightening tone to the drawing of a female lioness. I wonder who that could be. with cold shark eyes. Rafiki is hesitant to touch even the two-dimensional demon. Yeah, I love the wording they use and stuff like. I mean, it gets even better, trust me, as this goes on. Rafiki, Zira vow revenge. Simba had no choice but to banish her and the loyal soldiers of Scar to the Outlands. A painting of 20 or so young lions prowling a bleak and desolate world, which is probably what he's emphasizing during this. Rafiki, these outlanders scavenge the land. So just now we finished page 1, and there's different opening. Very interesting. Page 2. Rafiki. Actually, hold on. I'm going to do one thing. At the end of these, I'll just leave it for a second. So if you guys want to do a screenshot or whatever, you got the watermarks and stuff to do so. There you go. Rafiki. Snaps a gourd in half. Loud and violent like the world splitting open. That land died, and a wound opened into Pride Lands, a wound that may destroy us all. He raises his face to the heavens, staring through the open circle of leaves to the starry night above. Clouds are swirling, trying to choke off the diamond stars that glitter. The great kings of the past stare down at Rafiki, as Rafiki cites his prophecy. Rafiki, Mufasa, we have only one hope. Lightning stabs our eyes, and thunder splits the night as we slam cut to. It's again cool little directions of scenes. You see these little numbers. I believe these are detailing scenes. But anyway, slam cut to from Rafiki in that situation. The child of Simba and Nala being presented in the traditional celebration, I'm sure that we all know. It is dawn the next morning, and all the animals in the kingdom have gathered at the base of Pride Rock, waiting in hushed awe as Rafiki cradles the golden cub. He thrusts it toward the rising sun. All the animals trumpet howl, cheers, bowing deeply before the royal child. Timon saddling Pumbaa like a horse, sighs giddily into his buddy's ear. Ah, Pumbaa, look at the little guy. A chip off the old block. And you gotta know who, and an elbow, wink, wink. And you gotta know who's gonna raise him. Again, very similar. Well, guess not, obviously. His parents, is what Pumbaa says. Timon, okay, sure, get technical. But who's gonna teach him the really important stuff, like how to belch and dig for grubs? I'm telling you, buddy, it's gonna be like the old times. You, me, and the little guy. It's a girl. 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 And then shock gasps from the animal mob, and silence slams down. Rafiki smiles at Simba and Nala, who beam with absolute pride. Timon and Pumbaa lock eyes for a moment, then faint in twin thuds. Our world slams to black, a legend burning into our eyes. The Lion King, Simba's Pride, title drop. Okay. Here's where it gets interesting. So, even more. Alright. Simba's beloved daughter, Aisha. Now, here's the thing. If you guys have not seen the first video, again, I'm not going to rephrase this every time I read these scripts, but I'll do it for this because it's the first video on it. Aisha is the original name that was for Kiara before they changed it. There's a lot of things they do that were in the script. Again, it's preliminary, it's during the production. They change things, and we're going to see a lot of that throughout this. But Aisha, again, that's Kiara. Just keep that in mind as we're going along. But anyway, Simba's beloved daughter, Aisha, is a bit older now. A rambunctious, curious cub with the heart of adventure, but in a father who's king, so she spent her life wrapped in a protective cocoon. But right now, Aisha is on her own, exploring the world around her. A butterfly flutters by, and she paws at it. Swipe. It zigs and zags. Soon, she's whiffing the air with her slashing paws. It's outmaneuvering her. She gurrs, charges, and the butterfly zips out of her path. Bonk. I should have done that better, but oh well, bonk. Aisha ram-butts a rock. Ouch. She rubs her head, then looks at the butterfly and giggles. It got her. She scrambles up onto the rock and sees. Interesting little note he puts here, I guess. And sees the Pride Lands from her POV spread out before her, magnificent and strange, untold lands yet to be explored. An odd whisper. Ooh, cool. I wonder what's out there. Danger, because suddenly we're moving from a stalker's POV, so basically getting something stalking toward her, Low and silent, we're zooming through the underbrush with a deadly speed. Reeds bend. Bushes flash by, hugging the ground we're hunting. Aisha, who sits on a rock, surveying the land, unaware that something is creeping on her. Faster, gaining speed, it breaks through the underbrush and charges, zeroing in on her, who turns at the last second and So basically, she's come to face with Timon and Pumbaa. Just a startled this is exactly what we see in the film. I'm sure you can recognize this, and she crashes in the creek below. And it's cool because this guy, again, when he's a storyboard artist, so he's trying to also visualize these scenes. So he sometimes sketches out things that are funny. He jumps on her. You can see a very rough drawing of that right there, but it's pretty funny. Anyway, don't worry, kid. Uncle Pumbaa's coming. Cannonball splash. I'm moving through this kind of because we all know what happens, except for the lines that are kind of changed. So this is all the same. Let's see. Waist deep in the current, looking around for Aisha, she's nowhere to be seen. Timon slaps forward. Pumbaa, let me define babysitting. Yeah. Uh-huh. But this is cool. Like, Aisha bob it up. He ushers her to shore where Timon waits like a dawning mother hen. Her, oh god, not that. Timon fingers her back like a panicked chiropractor. I love this. Simba would kill us. You didn't slip a disc, did ya? Catch a fever, get a hangnail. Timon. And I had one once, very painful. Come on, your dad wants to see you. So, as heavily fun's over, she dutifully follows her guardians as they escort the unhappy little princess toward deep in the Pride Lands, where Simba walks his domain listening to Zazu, his loyal horn-billed major domo, giving the morning report, sire. The Elks want to hold their annual convention at the watering hole, but the leopards would have to change their spot, and that would drive away the gnu's. And that is, then again, no gnu's is good to gnu's. Oh, man. So, I'm trying to see what this is. So, essay. Cool. Timon and Pumbaa arrive with their royal daughter. Zazu drifts to the silence, and Aisha hangs her head in shame, ready for the rebuke. Simba stares a moment, then says with fatherly concern, I wanted to talk to you. I heard you've been wandering near the outlands again. Aisha glares at Zazu, the little tattletale. It's pretty funny. He shrugs a lame apology. What have I told you? But, Daddy, it's far too dangerous. Everyone is so concerned about Aisha's welfare. Poor Aisha somehow gets overlooked. No one really listens to her. So I've also, yeah. So, very cool. Zazu. Young lady, why would you want to see the outlands at any rate? Nothing there but a bunch of backstabbing murderous outsiders. And that's how he's kind of, I think we do get this line. He shudders at the very word. She gets intrigued, but before she can speak, Zazu's right. You don't want to turn your back on them. I can't protect you if you keep running off. But Daddy, he pulls her close, a line equivalent of holding a cherished child upon your knee. Okay, interesting way to describe that. A loving, protective gesture. Accidents can happen. I don't want to see your life ruined the way part of mine was. Hugging her tight. You'll understand someday. Until then, you do as you're told. She nods acceptance and he lets her go. They nuzzle again. Love between them. Blah, blah, blah. A little understanding. Timon's, okay, gestures to Timon and Pumbaa to keep watch. Timon salutes. I'm on Captain. Simba walks away. I should notice the footprints. Oh, here we go. This is interesting, guys. Here's where stuff gets really interesting in the beginning of this. So Aisha noticed the footprints he leaves behind. Suddenly, a shadow swoops over her, and Timon is there holding a palm-fronding umbrella. With your complexion, you should sail the sun. She bats, annoyed. What, do you want a wrinkle? Will someone just please listen to me? Not Timon not listening. Is basically we get in a different way. What, did you say you were hungry? It's also not the same line. Aisha rolls her eyes as he and Pumbaa instantly root under a log. Grabs the other white meat. Pumbaa takes a bite and he puts back and grabs another. You always do that. I like how he says this is the funny bit, which is the one we get in the lines we get in the film, and then follow Aisha. This is telling basically is this is the funny bit, but then we should follow Aisha as they're arguing, which they do. So as they argue like they do in the film, she leaves. So while they argue, Aisha slips away to the savannah. She's following her father's footprints. This is where again. But she leaves no mark. She's too light to make an indent in the hard soil. She presses hard, jumps, nothing. That's like a slap in the face. Ooh. Okay, here we go. She begins to sing a possible song, which we never get in the film. Very interesting. There's no lines to it, but it's listed right here. A song that is titled "My Own Mark." This is brand new information, exclusive brand new information that has been being reported to you by me right now at the minute. It's apparently an upbeat, heart-thumping number that echoes her inner soul to walk a mile on her own path. Everyone seems to have their life laid out for her, but she wants to make her own mark, but somebody other than Simba's daughter. How can she sample living when the life she tastes is spoon-fed to her, and she sings, she's exploring, and we see wilderness we've never seen, exotic and wondrous places that could hold adventure. As the song continues, we see Timon and Pumbaa, stuffed to the gills, lazing happily. They turn to Aisha. This is page 9. Okay. Turn to Aisha, but she's gone. So they begin to search frantically, looking up and down and over and under. And oh man, kid, hey kid, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Interesting, weird, out of character, but it is what it is. This is early script. They keep looking, and we intercut with them as Aisha her song builds to a climax. As she hits her final note, she finds herself at the base of a cliff. She stares up at the stone wall of a cave entrance high above, and she starts up the craggy face until she scampers inside a crystal cavern. Here we go. Lore that is being revealed as you can see before your very eyes. Crystal Cavern. Now, this was something people knew about. I know about in the fandom, and they just knew about it. No one really knew the use for it, and let me tell you, in the script, there's definitely use for it. So you'll see it. But wow, this is a massive cathedral of crystal spires and dancing colors. She senses someone is watching her, and she looks around suspiciously, eyes everywhere, and she spins whack right into a lion cub. She gasps and realizes it's just her own reflection. Aisha looks around. Her images reflect on 3 dozen stalagmites surrounding her with herself. It's a fun hall of mirrors. Ooh, jeez. Oh no, what just happened? Okay, I was right. No, it's fine. So this was the last page we were just on. And this is the last page of this video until next week. But, accidentally zoomed out. Okay. She's faced with all these lifeless versions of herself, and they look like her. The moment holds, and she turns back to the mouth of the cave, so it's a different mouth, it says, is what he kind of put his notes. Again, we're going to be analyzing these notes. It's going to be a lot more later on. Her eyes go wide with wonder, because from her POV, the outlands are spread before her. A swampy river gulch zags across the savannah like a scar. Beyond it is a desolate thorn barrens, a dying cancer on the rich earth. She's never seen anything like it. Aisha begins to inch toward as Timon and Pumbaa, now in a state of panic, race back toward Prairie Rock. Oh no, she's gone. You gotta tell Simba. Me. Why me? You tell him. Yeah, big baby. We'll both tell him. Except you talk. Again, kind of out of character, but interesting. We leave them bounding away and go to the border of the Outlands. Here we go. This is given a hint of the next video. An Outlander lion, Nuka, is scavenging the ridge that looks over the swampy river. He hates everything and everybody, but nothing more than himself. He's the kind of lion that makes himself feel better by making others feel worse. Following him like an unwelcome shadow is Kovu, a male cub Aisha's age. He's a tough little spud who wants to reach for the stars, but that's not the life laid out for him. He's scampering behind Nuka, idolizing him. Kovu, did you catch the mouse yet? Huh? Bet you didn't. You scared him away, you little miscreant. Stop following me. And we'll see what happens with that on the next video. So we'll go a bit of a cliffhanger there in the next video, next week. Thank you guys for watching. Definitely please like and subscribe. And we'll keep following this amazing, exclusive content. All right.